Except for the as always, Children Talk is growth. We're just here to inspire and motivate you guys. As a take a sit and sit tight, have some popcorn on your side. As a cheese to a new episode. So today we've got a lady here. She's gonna introduce herself. Madam, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very fine. It looks like you're too far in. You're working Corona.
Social distancing. I'm sitting with the mic.
So you're busy with the mic.
Yeah,
so you can just give us a bit of introduction. Who are you? And also, I love to say, why did we call you here? Why did we invite you here today? So you can just give us a little bit of that. What's your name? Where you come from? And then why are you here?
Okay. My name is Katlego Mjali, originally from Tembisa. I am here as a representative for Audio Oven Creative Hub.
Okay.
I'm here to speak about the amazing work that the creator of the organization has established and the work that we do primarily under AMAPIANO.
You said it's what?
Audio Oven Creative Hub.
It keeps on driving away. Audio Oven
Creative Hub.
Creative Hub.
Yeah.
So, okay, if I were to ask, why the name?
Why the name?
Yeah, Audio Oven Creative Hub.
As our founder would like to just talk about how it is an ecosystem,
okay,
and it encompasses a trilogy of a business model that's about strategy, sound, and visuals. So I think that's just to say that it's an audio hub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like overall, it's
an
audio hub. Okay, makes sense. So when did this audio hub establish?
2024. Yes. Yes.
Still a new baby.
Yes.
Yeah, still a new baby.
Yeah.
So, and how did it, I can say, simple question, what inspires me? The question actually was supposed to be going straight to the founder and whoever, but because you are the representative today, we're going to ask you that.
So Bongeni Mthethwa, who's the founder of the organization, was inspired by the emergence and the groundbreaking work of AMAPIANO.
Okay.
And so the primary work and the focus is on AMAPIANO, and I think it's such a groundbreaking genre that has its roots, for lack of a better word, rooted in being Ekasi. It talks about the experiences of being Ekasi, and whether you grew up there or you're no longer there, but it's music that can resonate with people who are from that environment and who can share their lived experiences growing up in environments like that. Yeah. So
it's actually a movement that it's trying to grow and bring change, we could say.
You could say that it encompasses that, and he also focuses on merging or the collaboration with up-and-coming artists who also want to pierce into the market as well.
Oh, that's nice. Plus, we have a lot of upcoming artists that they don't really have a good clarity of how they should, run their music thing and how to make it up to the top.
Yeah, so that's where then we come in, where we also focus on one of the words is strategy, and strategy is the PR, the marketing, the seeing how you can create a brand and to market that brand, because in the world that we live in, there's social media. Not everyone knows how to navigate that space. So we also come in with that, where it's like, how do we run this PR? How do we get this artist
to the top,
to the top, and to be recognized? And with AMAPIANO, we know these big names, but we never know the vocalists as well. It's very hard to put a face to the name, and I think that's where we come in, where we want to focus on marketing someone, whether it be an individual, whether it be a brand, a business idea, and then also we focus on the visuals, of course.
So, okay, we have talked a little bit about the organization and everything. Now let's talk about your role.
My role?
Yeah, your role.
Like I said, I think with me it's just that trying to get the name out, trying to also put a face to the brand. So you want to be the nice face there? It's just to get the word out there that this is who we are, and we are here, we're present. And we are also on social media platforms.
I've seen that every social media platforms you guys are there.
Yeah.
So it's just sad to see not a lot of people try to engage with such organizations wherein they're out there to try and help those young talents to come up and embrace, be the best out of themselves. So you see other people dragging back, whereas there's this, I can say, an organization that is helping people. It's like having a helpline where we be like each and every person that has a problem can use this landline to call and also get help. But people now try by all means to just keep quiet and be like, how will I get there? You understand? But you do have such organizations who are out there to try and help people. If somebody could reach out, I don't think you guys can just ignore. If somebody just say, no, I'm an upcoming artist, I would like to do this, this and that, try to market myself, as you must say that you also deal with in terms of social media wise, try to advertise, we could say, to advertise the artist and make sure the artist gets whatever that they want to.
I wouldn't really say it's people maybe keeping quiet, but I think with the era of social media, I think people also don't know where the starting point could be for them.
Oh yeah.
And so that's where, like I said, that we come in, where it's how do we then establish a brand? How do we establish an individual? What is the PR strategy that we're going to embark on in order to ensure that we have a person that stands out or music that stands out. And so I think platforms like this are important. We can we can kind of say, hey, there's also.
But the question is, how many people watch it? You might find that the people that are watching this platform are not actually the target markets that you guys want. You see, the other problem comes with that. The reason why the knowledge and the message doesn't always get to the right people, because those right people are just relaxing at home and be like, get a pop one day. How are you expecting to pop when you are sitting at home? Whereas we have access to social media. You can search whatever that you want. You can get to whoever that you want. So it's their duty and responsibility, because even you guys, the organization is there, but the organization cannot go and fetch someone. They're gonna come and find me. You understand? So those people, they need to come out, voice out, and say something. That's what I'm saying. If somebody could text you guys, I don't think you guys can ignore. But how many people do text and say, we really want to do this? That's the other problem that I feel like we have as upcoming generations. We tend to expect things to happen out of miracle. But are you waiting for that miracle to happen? No. But you're expecting the miracle to happen. How so?
That's a very loaded question and also statement. But I don't necessarily think that people are just sitting and hoping that they catch a break somewhere or with somebody. I think what we need to focus on is how can we empower people with information, because I think when you look at entertainment industry and the media, there's a lot of people we know, especially who have made it and fallen off the radar, will tell you that with record labels, they didn't own their music or things happened. And I think we come in and we're like, we're not necessarily a record label. However, we want our artists to know that it's a collaboration. We want to establish something that can work for everybody, where you come in with your idea, and based on your idea, how can we then market that to be relatable to the current climate that we have in South Africa, and specifically in the genre of AMAPIANO. And so I slightly disagree with that people are just sitting and not doing anything. I think there are so many people who are hustling, who are knocking on so many doors, but maybe people just have a one-dimensional idea of how you can pierce into the industry, and we come in and we say there's so many other elements that you can factor in, especially with the advancement of media and the kind of...
Because it is really advanced,
Yeah, exactly.
It's out there now, it's out there.
And I think what also, when you look at social media, it's so... deceiving at times, because I think a lot of our influences, unfortunately, are from the West, and so maybe people think that if I just start a podcast, immediately it will, be on. If I start creating a TikTok account, immediately I'm
be
going to
on.
have followers and I'm going to make money. And unfortunately, there are certain rules that apply maybe in America that don't apply in South Africa. And we then come in and we say, let's look at a business model for this podcast. Let's see how this can be durable. Let's see how this can, be sustainable in the future and not just a passing and fleeting moment for now. And I think a lot of the times we or young people go into spaces where we don't think about durability. We want to do something that's like a trend, and trends come to an end at some point. Your 15 minutes of fame will be up. So here it's like we don't want you to have 15 minutes of fame.
We want you to be there.
We want you to be established. We want you to succeed.
So I was asking this other guest past few weekends, and I'm like, do you think our music, the one that it's running now, AMAPIANO, do you think it will be like the legendary music of Winnie Mashawa and whoever that are back then that are still legends even today? Likes of Michael Jackson. His music is still buzzing even today. So my question is, do you think even our AMAPIANO will still buzz in the next 10 years, 15 years? I just want to get your perspective, how you...
Definitely. I think let's just look at the history of AMAPIANO, right? Mm-hmm. And like I said, that it's drawn from the experiences of people in Malokshini.
Oh yeah.
And I think I'm a regular attendee of things like festivals. I'm not going to say which one.
We're gonna see you.
But it's amazing to go to world-renowned events, and you come across people from Southern Africa, people from other countries, even not in Africa, and to resonate with AMAPIANO. To have this dance culture also that people are like, wow, this is amazing. And then when you bring it locally, I was thinking about our very own artist, Script, and he has a song that talks about ukuhlonipha umuntu, ukuhlonipha inhliziyo yomuntu. And I was like, oh my goodness, we are raised and we are taught that young men and little boys don't know how to articulate themselves or aren't emotional beings. Yet we have AMAPIANO songs where we've got men who are professing their undying love for their significant other. And you can go to groove with your person and you guys can have an amazing time because you are listening to essentially love, like it's like R&B, but like it's dance music.
R&B AMAPIANO.
You understand? And I think people who are going through even like a spiritual journey, when you look at other artists who will talk about, one of the biggest artists, of course, Kabza, who will talk about all his music. I think you see that's the album where that was a spiritual album. So you can have a young person who's going through a spiritual journey and you're lost, and you can listen to music where you're like, okay, this can be my compass. One of my favorite songs is Eni Malini. We all talk about how we want money, and it's like Sumanda. So I think AMAPIANO is so relevant. It's not just about groove culture. It's not just about having a good time. But when you sit and you listen to the lyrics, when people say music is therapy, as cliche as that may sound, truly it is. And even with music like AMAPIANO, you can sit at home, and whether you are going through a spiritual crisis, you can listen to music where you're like, wow, this resonates and I'm okay, or I can reconnect with God, I can reconnect with my ancestors if that's where your footing is. You're going through heartbreak, but there's music for everything. And we've also got artists like, I think Tyler, she says she's a AMAPIANO artist more than she is like Afropiece. I think people say she's Afropiece, but she's been very adamant though on being like, no, my genre is this. And so you've got artists like that who've also been able to further put a spotlight under AMAPIANO. Not to say that she's done that by herself, but that's further, recognition across continents for the genre. So I think it's an incredible genre, and I don't think it's going to die. I don't think this is a trend. I don't think that it is. We've got young people, or we've got a lot of other female artists as well who make a lot of their money overseas, who book events overseas as well, because it's such a groundbreaking phenomenon. Like, it's become such an interesting movement, for lack of a better word. But I think it's become a movement as well.
So, to talk about the organization, do you guys specifically focus on AMAPIANO, or you also try to touch other genres as well?
The primary focus is AMAPIANO, but of course there's also focus on brand creation and business creation. So if somebody has an idea, if someone comes in and they are focused on a different type of genre, then that would be something that is a conversation that is had, of course, with the production team. Fortunately for me, that's not my realm, so that's not something I can go into detail with.
I feel like I was supposed to be having the whole team here and asking them one by one.
It's okay.
Which one is this one?
So the main focus primarily is that, but it's not limited to, because of course, there's people who can come in for
different things. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why I'm like, it's not just about artists, but it's also about the development of brands and businesses. So it's a business model that's also focused on that.
So now I want to know, mainly with your perspective, how you understand everything, right? So we've got young talents that it's coming in. So typically, this is like more like a question. I just want to see how you tackle it, how you drill it and make it possible. It's a young talent artist trying to grow, I could say, or try to be exposed and be seen and wherever. But the disadvantage part is that the artist, it's far away from everything. He or she doesn't know social media. Okay, she knows there's WhatsApp, but for talking to people, that's all. She or he doesn't know that you can put your song on Spotify. She or he doesn't know that you can put your song on YouTube actually and get paid for that song. He or she doesn't know how to even post or market your own songs. And they're out there having the talent, best talents ever, raw, no auto-tunes and whatever, it's raw talent. They're best. They are known in their village, well known. People know that they do music and people love their music, but they're still closed in that box. So how do you think they could come out and try and be exposed out there?
Ooh, that is a very loaded question.
And before we jump, they also have a situation where they don't, it's easy for us because we've got relatives here, right? In Jozi, we come for Malume or auntie, stay over, end up, having school here, do things like that. That person doesn't even have relatives this side. He knows no. He's the head of the house maybe at home, or she's the head of the house at home. She's the oldest one, taking care of the young ones. The old lady there is getting old. What would you say? Back in the villages where you come from in Eastern Cape or KZN, down there.
So this is me answering personally, for myself.
Yeah,
right?
with your perspective.
It's such a hard perspective because I don't have Imakaya to go to. Like, I'm one of those, I'm a first generation, or not even the first, but I'm born and raised in Gauteng.
Okay.
So Gauteng is the only lived experience that I know. I don't know what it's like
to be a
grow up in a rural area. I don't know what that dynamic is like to have little access to internet. So I wouldn't know how to advise somebody that has even more limited resources than somebody that's struggling, who's already in a metropolitan area. I wouldn't know. And the best way that I could probably try to encourage is unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately, social media is the best thing currently. That is the fastest way now to get some kind of knowledge on spaces. Where is it that you go? Where is it that you get to market yourself and even get free beats? Because even things like getting, music is something you have to pay for. And here we also encompass that we work with freelancers, we have videographers, we have sound engineers, we have people who are doing work behind the scenes, who also want to showcase their raw talent as well, to say, okay, this is what I've created. What is it that we can do together to create something that is unique, something that's different? And so when it comes to somebody with limited resources, I wouldn't know how to advise something like that. It's a very hard, it's something I can't foresee because it's something that I don't
you don't know. Yeah.
But unfortunately, I would say that it's gaining some sort of access to social media, and that's why even, we know that the most popular ones now are all X and Instagram, but we still have your
Facebook.
Old school Facebook,
Yeah.
where it's like there's a lot of people who are still
There,
engaging there, and yeah. And podcasts like yourself, where we get to have these platforms and have these conversations and try and get the word out there to show people that there are alternatives. Yeah.
So what are the future plans for the organizations? Like, what do you guys want to achieve, like in the industry, or your main focus? What is it that it's your plan in the future to say, no, in 10 years or in 5 years, for us, we feel like we want to make sure that we got 5 talent that we've uplifted there somewhere, or maybe in 5 years we want to promote this, we want to do that. What's your plan in 5 years? So that people can have knowledge when they engage with you, to know that these are the right people.
That would be a question for the founder, but to sort of give you a general idea, like I said, this is collaborative work. So it's not work that wants to essentially, we don't really have fixed contractual agreements to say that we are here for 5 years, we are here for X amount of time. It's collaborative work. And so
but with your collaboration, what are you aiming to achieve? We would say, let me ask you.
I think it's aiming to pierce into, like I said, the AMAPIANO space, to also have like raw talent come in, because I think also now we are so used to these big names that we overlook the smaller or the underdogs rather. And like I said to you, I think it's the ability to put a face to a name. There are so many songs that we know of that are amazing, but if someone said, who's the vocalist? Someone would just say, I know Muti Kabza. I know it's got,
they don't know
it's got
the actual
but we
one.
don't know that who's the vocalist behind this. And I think when you bring in our organization, we come in and we say we also want to be able to build not just an artist, but we want to build a brand. So it's to have an artist and to have a brand behind that artist as well. So that we can make it a much safer space for young artists coming in, where it's like, okay, these people not only just want to make music, but these people want to build a business with me as well, and it can empower me to also then pay it forward as well.
So I've seen, I don't know if it was a conversation or it was me searching or what happened, but I've seen somewhere somehow, or I've heard somewhere somehow. So the organization, it's actually a podcast.
We do also have a podcast. So
or inside the organization.
Yes, there's also a podcast as well, and for people who also want to break into that, then there's also a market for that as well.
Oh, yeah. That's nice. It seems like you guys have a big team, eh? Like the way you clarify it, it's like you've got different departments, people who deal with it, people who deal with that, people who deal with
but like I said, that we also have a team of freelancers as well. People coming with different skill sets. And I think we are able to grow even more when we have different people coming in with various skill sets, because then we are forever growing. This evolution in the organization, because we've got different people coming in with various skills who can assist when somebody comes in and says, "This is my business model.
Oh.
Help me execute
Okay.
this business model."
Okay. Makes sense.
You
Makes
know?
sense. Makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense. So, in such organizations, I'm just going to be real with you. There are some who are trying to, I don't know, how to keep it. But there, in such organizations, there are some organizations that are actually feeding themselves from those artists, getting artists and trying to collaborate with them, only to find out that you guys just wanted to, I can say, from that person, and then after that you'll be like, it's a grind. Because it's a young talent who wants to be out there, you guys promising, or no, don't worry, with our collaboration we're gonna help you get this and that and that and that. So I just want to ask with you guys, honestly, being honest, so that even tomorrow I don't sell the wrong thing to my audience, you understand? Do you guys officially say that you guys are, like I can say, one of the best collaboration to do with, so that even young artists, when they come through, they know this collaboration it's good one?
I would say, yeah, because like I said, we're not a traditional record label, and that's why even the name has, Creative Hub.
Yeah.
Where, like I said earlier, that it's an ecosystem where we don't want artists to feel as if that they don't have autonomy to their own work, and that's why we come in with a business model that says, let's collaborate, let's work together, because we are also building our own brand, but let us help you because we have the skill set. So we come in and we say, this is how we can assist with the skill set that we have. And so, like with traditional record labels, maybe somebody will be signed for 5 years or 4 years in these specific deals. We don't do that. We come in and we say, we are focusing on the PR, we are focusing on the marketing, we are focusing on the brand building, sound, we are focusing on music, and then visuals. Of course, we are focusing on getting to know the individual and seeing who this person is, and aligning, or like I said earlier, putting that face to the name, so that you know who this is, you know how to interact with them. And when it comes to the building of a brand, you know where to reach, or how to get a hold, or how to interact with an artist as well. So it's not just something that is closed off to just the organization.
Yeah. Because I'm just making sure, because you know how these things happen.
Like I said, it's collaborative work. We don't, and currently we have the one artist script, but we also have up and coming people who work with us. Yeah,
that's nice. Unfortunately, only if script was here, she would
yeah, he gave us also talk about his experience as well.
Yeah. So, but in the industry that you guys are running, what is it that you feel like you have learned and empowered on your own, like personally, you talking about your how you became yourself and everything, then engaging with the organization, how do you think the organization improved you, and what are the things that you feel like you have learned with your role that you're holding out?
I think with me, it's seeing how multifaceted media is. I think when you are just a consumer of music, you don't really pay attention to what goes in to it, and the various people that are involved in it. So I think for me, it's been eye-opening to come across the many structures that come into creating something like a podcast. Creating something like music, and having to take stills and having to market that, and the many people that come into that. So it's been an eye-opening experience to see the raw talent also of people who are hungry to says, I think we can do this in this way, and this is how we can
get there.
pierce into the market. This is how we can be relevant to the current climate of media and entertainment.
Oh, you also want to be relevant.
I am okay behind the scenes. Yeah.
Why are you here?
Like I said, I'm here as a representative.
Yeah, but you're supposed to
but
sing.
I'm not an artist. You know what I mean? I'm not an artist. I wish I could sing. Unfortunately for me, I'm not talented in that regard.
Try and give out one line. Maybe you might.
I wish. I know.
No, my voice is gonna come. Trust me.
No, the audience I know. This is not a roast.
No, besides, we're trying to make it more fun and more eligible, right?
No, but people say if I could sing, you would never have a break. You would be sick of me. I wish I was talented. But no, that's not my forte. I would rather be here and to promote and talk about what we do
rather than being.
I love seeing art.
So the only time you are with a mic, it's now.
The only that's it. I love just enjoying and taking in art.
So with your experience right now, and also trying to understand how does it feel to work with artists, like different kinds of artists. How's the environment around them? Do you find it interesting? Do you find it something to, I can say, do you learn around them? Do you get to, do they get to come with something interesting for you to can be able to share? Because I've heard some artists saying sometimes as artists they live two lives. There's a life that's an artist, and there's a life at home. At home he's a dad, and on stage he's an artist. He has to behave like an artist. He has to, but at home there's no artist. It's a dad to his kids. So I just want to know, with your experience, have you ever been maybe exposed in such, maybe having an artist that they come up with something interesting, you'd be like, oh, this guy is actually, I thought maybe he's like this, can't you? So you got here, I was like, hey,
So I don't really work directly with artists, so I don't get to see the duality of artists.
But surely your manager says something about that. Surely.
Look, interesting enough, I come from a family background of people who are in marketing. So I have more of a perspective that's like that, where it's interesting to see people who understand how advertising works and how broadcasting works. Okay. And I think that's what I'm more intrigued with. Hence my role. I'm more interested in that. So I don't really get to interact that much with the artistry of music and the development of.
No, marketing is a cousin. It's in the veins. It runs in the family.
I hope so.
So you love doing marketing and everything and advertising, things like that.
I love supporting what I appreciate. So
come again. You're losing me now.
Yeah.
You're running away. You laugh?
Remember, okay.
Say that line again. I just want you to say that line.
I said I love representing what I appreciate, and so it becomes almost like secondhand nature to be a mouthpiece for something you believe in, such as what we are here for today.
It's like you're afraid to say something. Say, don't be afraid.
No.
When you got something to say, never be afraid. Okay, this platform is open for everything. You could say whatever that you want to say, but just don't insult people.
Yeah.
Don't insult people. We just here to inspire and motivate. So you keep on inspiring and motivating. All right. Unfortunately, you said you were born and bred here.
I don't know if it's unfortunate, but yes.
Oh, fortunate. No, I get it. With my question, it's unfortunate.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but with you, it's fortunate. Because I wanted to ask more about kids that are disadvantaged. Like, they don't have the resources, they don't have that much of exposure. As much as you say, we believe doing a podcast today, tomorrow is going to start making money. Also, for them, not knowing how to step and move on certain things like that, to be like, okay, if I talk to that person, as much as you guys have the organization, they don't know already. You have to interact with the organization, have some collaboration with it. At least they're gonna push you to be somebody. You understand? So I wanted to ask a question based on that, because I've once had a disadvantaged artist here saying how hard it is for them to try and collaborate with other artists. Apparently there's this thing of saying you have to pay 40k for feature, you have to pay 10k for the feature, you have to pay this for the feature. But at that manner, when we check, we are both still trying. So why are you charging me money whereas we are both still hustling? It's like now, for example, podcast to podcast, and I be like, let's collaborate. Then whether you be like, no, for us to collaborate, I'm for 10k. You understand? But at the same time, when I look at our numbers, we are still trying. You're trying, I'm also trying. So why don't we take those two numbers, combine as much as collaboration it is, combine the two energies and two numbers and see where it's gonna go. So my question was based on that, because that person says it's not easy. You understand? As much as you've got talent, it's always about those big names coming for you. Because if you are going for the big names, they don't take you serious. You understand? That's how difficult it is. And whereas you find that person, you maybe meet that person a lot of times, like event in whatever, but for that 2 minutes talk, can we collaborate on something like this? I'm a musician, can you just at least listen to my music? Because that gets said, there are people who would give you an ear to say, no, send me your music, I'll listen to it. You understand? Then it ends up being something of a week gone, 2 weeks gone, month gone, another month. We understand they're busy, so sometimes it's the problem starts there. The big names, they are busy maybe every now and then, so they don't really have time to catch up with everything that's happening. So, but with my question, it outlines everything that I've just said, like how difficult it is with the upcoming, more especially the ones from the villages. Because in villages, honestly speaking, if you go there sometime, you tell indeed there is talent. But how do the talent get exposed to right channels? You understand? Because even at home, you just find that girl who sings, and then you just find that boy who can be a vocalist, and then they just do music. After that music, what do? The music only trends in their bedroom. You see the problem? The only person who hears the music is him or her and the family. That's all. Maybe a few friends that are around. I'll share like a WhatsApp. Then the music ends in that second. So you understand how difficult it gets when we don't have such organizations in the rurals as well. You understand? So I would say for you guys, when we go for more collaboration, why not sometimes try and look deeper into those ones that are like very, 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 very acknowledged. I don't know how you're gonna find them. I feel like it's difficult to find them, but somehow they're out there, guys. They're out there, and I feel like we can have the next Gabza, we can have the next Scott Mapuma, we can have the next Jay-Z if we go and outsource those young talents. Rather than having a talent that dies because they couldn't get to the right Yes, they couldn't get to the right people, right audience.
Yeah.
You know.
I think when it comes to audio oven, right? That's the gap that we saw.
Yeah, yeah, we're
Where
trying to fill up. Yeah.
it's also, there are people who have raw talent, but these are people who also don't know how to market themselves.
Exactly.
These are people who also don't know how to pierce into the space, and it's like, because there's this gap, what kind of business model can we then create that can try and bridge that gap? Where that's why our primary focus, we were saying, it is up and coming artists. It is people who are freelancers for us, where it's everything that we are doing is collaborative, because we all want to, step forward into something that is new. And as much as the greats are amazing, your Gabsas, your Tylers, these are people who are amazing. Your Tuzins, these are people who are amazing. But why do we need the next? Let's go and get somebody new. Let's find something that's newer, that's different, that's still raw. We don't want to, duplicate something that's already here, or an artist that's already here. Yes, that's the inspiration, of course, but that, like I said, it's finding that, or seeing that gap, and saying, okay, how do we then assist? What is it that we can do to try and ensure that people have a fair chance of getting into the industry, or even empowering themselves? That's true. But now we are here and we are saying, okay, let's provide you with tools that can empower you. So let's think about how we can market you. Let's think about how we can build you as a brand, and you can take it from there. Who collaborates, unfortunately, it like you're saying, these are things that we've all heard, to pay for a sound, or a beat is X amount of money.
People are paying for that.
Somebody, and and we are here and we are saying, what can we do to mitigate that, to try and give somebody that's stepping stone, or that.
When you talk like that, I just remember this question that I always struggle with. Like, I struggle answering it because people just don't understand. People always ask me, or when I do this podcasting, how do I make money? People are very concerned about making money, So, because that question, how I answer it, they don't understand, or maybe they just don't think it makes sense. I'll then throw the ball to you to say, then how do you make sure that those people, they get the right equipment and everything, so that they can maybe get to the right channels through the collaboration?
How do you answer that question?
Me?
Yeah.
I tell them that my aim of doing this, I was not aiming to make money doing this. My aim is the motive that we put behind Children Talk, is to motivate and inspire. You understand? As much as I bring guests here, I want those guests to inspire whoever is watching there, to motivate whoever is watching there. That's why always, before the show ends, I always ask, if there's a young kid watching there and tries to, uplift themselves and try to do something in life, what motivation would you give them? That's why I'm here. I'm here to get that motivation from you and give it to the audience. You understand? Money is cherry on top. You understand? It's like somebody waking and sweating, they get money at the end. But the main aim was to do what? Get the job done. You understand? Then after getting the job done, then that's when they add the cherry on top and be like, because you got the job done, we thought of giving you this 10 rand. We don't go the opposite direction. We don't go and fetch the 10 rand and then now come back and want to do the job. Have you ever seen anyone complete their job through that strategy? Even if a painter, a plumber, a builder, construction or whatever, if you give them money, do you think they're gonna still finish the project?
I wanted to make a joke. I hope it's not.
It doesn't offend people.
Hey, well, we've got entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so
Hey, that's how.
you understand. So that's why I'm always saying, that's how I answer it. You understand? Money, obviously, everybody when they work, they're expecting to get something at the end, right? But what is the motive behind everything? It's to try and inspire and motivate people. Then we get the job done first. Then later, that's when we say, oh, we got 10 rand. Oh, at least we got something. But it does not mean when we work next time, we need to work planning that, hey, we must get the 10 rand, we must get the 10 rand. Because that's how people lose everything. You understand? You aim for the 10 rand, at the end of the day, the 10 rand doesn't come. So it means next time we are no longer trying. We are far last time. So So now we forget what the motive behind. Why are we here? Why did we start the podcast at the first day? Why did you guys start the organization in the first day? People just don't understand that.
I think it's a very difficult question to answer because being in media and entertainment is not the same as any other career. You know, if you are a doctor, you sign a contract, you know
that you're gonna get this.
You're getting. But in this kind of atmosphere, you need to have, you need to build your brand. You need to be recognized, and once that is established, then that's when you can start booking these gigs because now
there's something,
and that's what we're trying to do. Let's work on that because once we can do that, then
once the job is done, then we get the cherry on top.
So it's one of those things that it's unfortunately a domino effect that you can't just wake up and say, I've got this raw talent, I can sing.
Then tomorrow I'm going
the next Makazi.
Shout out to Makazi movie. Shout out to Makazi.
And so that's what we're doing. What is it that we can do to create these environments where people can establish themselves, and that way you can book a gig, and that way you can collaborate where it's no longer you must give me 14 hours this name. Now there's
now the name match. They're on the same line now.
Now it's like, okay, this person is relevant. This person, when it comes to the age gap between 18-year-olds and 22-year-olds, this person is in this market. Collaborating with this person is, something that the next artist can benefit from. So I think I try to answer.
As you said, it is a difficult one to answer because when you answer with how you understand, it tends to confuse and get people to be like, okay, but they don't understand. You understand? So also we need to understand why did we start at the first place. That's the very same good reason that we need to keep on reminding ourselves. Why did we start this thing? Sharp, sometimes it gets exhausting, like down the line, and you'll be like, Maramoto Hachis. But when you go back and reverse to check, why did we even start here? You understand? So that's like when they're watching us, because when you search on YouTube, you find us, because when you go to Instagram, you come across us, because when you go to Facebook, you see us, because when you go to TikTok, you come across my video. Now you think I'm out there and because people would ask you that sometimes. Hey, I want to go to YouTube. Like, guys.
I think earlier on I mentioned that I think we have such a skewed we have this Western idea.
To say if I do it.
Then you see these influencers who are based in the US or anywhere else in the West where they are blowing up. The next thing, people are building houses. And then
you feel like
you see it in South Africa and you're like, no, this person must be making this money because,
but you're right. People tend to take it like that.
So I think it's very interesting. What's on like the media and entertainment is such an interesting space to navigate, and a lot of people struggle with how that works. And I think that's why there's such a disconnect
in between,
with up and coming artists and artists who have already made it as well. And unfortunately, it also is what's the phrase? A dog eat world.
That's it. Hey, why would you?
But I think like it's such a hard space to navigate, and once you know what you want, or once you know that this is the space that I want to be in, this is how I want to grow as an individual, what is it that you can do to empower yourself to ensure that you reach that goal? And here we come and we say this is the business model that we have, and one can then decide if that's something that can work for them or not.
Maybe sometimes you should try being a motivational speaker. Who knows? Maybe
That's the talent.
Maybe.
Yeah, not singing, but motivational speaking.
You must sing as well. You must sing. So now the question is, if I've got an audience watching and they would like to maybe to reach out to you guys, where would they find you?
We are on all social media platforms, Audio Oven, Creative Hub.
With me, it always.
You find us on Instagram. You find us on YouTube. We are on streaming services as well. We are on Apple, Spotify. We are on YouTube Music.
Yonke le ndawo jikelele.
Yes.
So now let's get to that question that I say I always love to ask. If there is a young kid working so hard to get somewhere, get exposure, get everything, but each and every day it just keeps on zero because where they are, maybe not having much knowledge, not knowing, like it's just something else.
I think if there's a child out there, first things first is education. I know it's hard. But education is key. Literacy is key.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times there are young people who we are in school, but illiteracy we are unable to understand. So somebody can relay information. How I interpret the information is not the same. So I think stay in school. School exposes you to different people in life. You get exposed to different experiences, and you get to know how to navigate the space. You get to navigate your surroundings. And I think once you have that as a key or that as a foundation, even things like research you can do, and you can, use Google. You can find us on social media platforms. But I think school is definitely the
best,
number one. Yeah.
Get the best of it. All right, guys. As you all know, it's still Talk with Growth. We are here to inspire and motivate you guys. As we heard, we've had our lady here. She had inspired you, motivated you as well. She gave out all the experience that she think it's useful for them to learn. And shout out to the organization, guys. Not the name always trips me. I take the first to the last one to the first and take the last one to the, But never forget, as she said, all social media platforms, they're there. They're also streaming on Spotify, Apple Music. They're also there. So try and check them everywhere, on YouTube as well. So Mara, Oskaleba, tell your friend to tell their friend, to tell their friend, to tell their friend, to tell their friend, to tell their friend that she was here. And Mara Oskaleba Lahab, press that subscribe button, or like it, or share, and give it to your friends as well. Mara, stay tuned for the next one. Tango.